Okay, I'll call our meeting of the Stokes County Board of Commissioners for Monday, March 27th, 2023 at 2 p.m. The first item on our agenda is the invocation. I would ask Commissioner Wood if he'd give us the invocation.
Precious Heavenly Father, thank you for the freedom we have to assemble. Thank you for the many blessings you stored us with in this county. Watch over, guide us, and give us wisdom and strength to make the right decisions. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Next item is the pledge. If you'd join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion?
No, a discussion, please, first.
Sure.
I'd like to ask for the under action implementation of the performance evaluation system. So I went through that. I saw numerous things that I think that could possibly get the county into some legality problems. I'd like to put that off to the next meeting. So I'd like to delete item A, implementation of performance evaluation system.
Okay, what's the position of the board on that? Anybody?
You want to just move it to discussion today or put it on discussion at the next meeting?
Yeah, and then if everything goes okay, we can move it to action at the next meeting.
I'm fine with either one of them.
You're good with either one? So what are you going to do then? Put it on discussion for the next meeting? Okay. Okay, all in favor say aye for that.
Aye.
Okay, also on the agenda, the hospital feasibility study, Pam Tillman, I left it on there, but she won't be here today because her brother passed away and she's making arrangements for his funeral tomorrow. I'll make a comment or two on that, but then we'll have a board trustees meeting before the next commissioner meeting and get a full blown update on that. So with those comments, have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Next thing on the agenda is public comments, and we have one person signed up to speak, Mr. Tommy Reeves from Westfield.
Thank y'all.
About 4 minutes and...
Yes, sir. I'll make it real brief this
All
time.
right, sounds
You know, I spoke last time on the animal control issue, and Ms. Smith stood up here and y'all asked some questions. What does the advisory board do? Who does they get appealed to, or whatever? And she couldn't answer. She said it gets appealed to y'all. So, in 2 weeks, I decided I'd research and find out. It's in North Carolina General Statute, which governs her what to do. The advisory board, if she does a dangerous dog, and it states here in North Carolina General Statute 67-4.1, definition of procedures of dangerous dogs. If you go down to C, it states the county or municipality responsible for animal control shall designate a person or board to be responsible for determining when a dog is potentially dangerous. That's her, animal control. Then it states the county will do a separate board to hear any appeals. So that's the advisory board. That should be, and it don't state exactly how many should be on it, but when you call around and talk to everybody else, it's a given to 5 people so you can have a correct vote on everything. It is also recommended that you put a veterinarian on it, so you have a licensed veterinarian there. But it states in here everything she should do. And if they don't agree with the board, the advisory board that you appoint, if they don't agree with it, then they appeal it to the Supreme Court judge here, which would be Ms. Bucket.
Superior Court Judge.
Superior Court judge, not y'all. Y'all are nowhere involved in this whatsoever.
Yeah, okay.
So to me, we need to demolish the advisory board because I went and seen her on Thursday. She don't even know who's on it. She's been an employee for almost a year now and don't have a clue who's on her advisory board. Well, that ain't how you run a department. I'm sorry, I was a supervisor for 14, almost 20 years in my career. That ain't how you run a department. I don't expect if y'all had the county manager and she didn't know who was on her board or who she had in her department head, that would be acceptable. So you need to know your job and performance. And when I went after Thursday, even after the meeting, Thursday, she still didn't have a clue who was on advisory board. So my argument's gonna be is, y'all as a board do away, because y'all the ones that serve, y'all do away with the advisory board and we reappoint the advisory board by the next meeting. So we're in with the law of the state of North Carolina. Because if we don't know who's on it, that means we don't have one, pretty much. If she don't know who's on it, that means we don't have an advisory board. And by law, we've got to have one. So my recommendation would be the county to do away with the advisory board, ever who's supposed to own it or whatever, just do away with it, let's redo it and get it right. There's a lot of stuff, I got thrown in this a week ago when I came to commissioners meeting, or 2 weeks ago when I came to it. I found out about 4 days prior and come over here. I've been doing a lot of research, and there is stuff in our policy that needs to be updated. Our vicious dog does need to be dealt with a little bit different. But even by general statute, we can strengthen it a little bit. But there's also statutes in there that can be controlled. I also found out these things that she said that she couldn't charge, that the magistrates wouldn't issue the warrant. Well, the magistrate issued the warrant. And you know, sir, from dealing with the computer system, this new computer system states guy, it don't allow you to type certain things in the warrant. And that's what the magistrate told us, so this is all they allow me to type. And she got mad about it. She said, well, call the DA and tell them to call me and I'll tell them what it is. So she issued the warrant, but the word in it, this one, the computer system wouldn't let her do it. The warrant that she wanted issued, that they wouldn't issue, was a felony warrant. Well, if you know here in Stokes County, and Surrey County, can I have just a few more?
Yeah, go ahead a couple more minutes.
The judges say any felony cases has to be investigated by law enforcement. So when she took law enforcement, they looked over, they said, you don't have probable cause for this. So that case, it says she couldn't get through court. And when she couldn't get through court, she didn't have the evidence to get through court for a true law enforcement officer to take it to court. So I trust my law enforcement officers. I'm sorry, 30 years in, I trust them. When they say you ain't got the evidence, you don't have the evidence. So I ain't gonna say she misspoke, but she worded it different to be her favoritism. And the chain that was laid here, nobody disagrees that's over. But there's a law right here in y'all's county ordinance already says. And the other thing I got is, people put dogs in a crate for 8 hours a day while they're at work, a 3x3 crate, with no water, no nothing, because it's crate broke. They ain't supposed to use the bathroom in it, so they believe that. They call that humane. And they call a dog on a chain not humane. Now that dog's got a 10-foot chain that's got more room in square footage than a 10x10 lot when you measure it out. But they call that inhumane, and they call that proper way to keep a dog. Now I'm just the opposite. To me, a dog being able to run, use the bathroom when it wants to is correct, not want to sit in the crate. But I don't put my beliefs on other people. And that ain't what I'm here trying to do. I'm just saying there's two different ways to look at something. And the very last thing I got is, can we all agree that a plastic barrel, when you read it by our statute, what's in here right now in the county ordinance, is a doghouse. If you take a square and draw it on that barrel and cut that top and cut down the sides and you put it back together, you got a bottom, you got two sides, you got a roof, and you got a back. And that's what the law says. So she has made Mr. Goodwell, who was here last time, go buy dog houses because she misread the county ordinance. And I've read it, I've had other people to read it, and they all read the same way. So to me, this board will look at the county manager and say, we need to reimburse him because we made a mistake. She made a mistake. She misread the law. And I might be wrong, y'all might disagree with me. But the way I read the law, and 30 years of experience reading the law, by what I read in this ordinance, that plastic barrel is a doghouse. If it has shavings in it, it's a doghouse. And she made a man go buy dog houses for no reason. So I just think it's right that if a man had to spend his own money, and we made a mistake as a county, that we corrected. That we admitted we corrected what we done. And that's pretty much all I got to say. But I do think, if y'all want to see this, I will hand it to you, sir.
Yeah, sure.
And it's up there on the very back. It's number C right there on number 4. And that takes everybody that you need to do. And I would advise the board to take that in that we need to redo this advisory board and know who's on it.
Yeah, make
Get it
copies
right.
for us of this, Amber.
Thank y'all for your time.
Before we leave. Thanks, Tommy.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all of our speakers signed up for today. The next item on our agenda is comments from the manager and commissioners. We'll start with Commissioner Mendenhall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to welcome everybody here today. We've got a small group, but it's an awful good looking group. And to everybody on YouTube that's watching us, thank you. We appreciate your participation in our governmental process today. Even though you're not here in person, if you're able to watch online, you get the same effects that if you were here. And I just want to say that I know some of you may already know, but I'd like to ask for everyone here in Stokes County to keep the school in Nashville, Tennessee in the prayers. They had a shooting this morning, and it was pre-K through 6 school. It was a private church school, and it was a female teenage shooter, and she killed 6 people, 3 students, 3 teachers, and then the police took her out. So there were 7 people dead from this shooting a while ago, and I guess where I was principal of 2 elementary schools, things like that get to me a little bit more than other things. But thank you for being here today, and I'll pass it on to Brad.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Just to touch on what Commissioner Mendenhall said, it's very tragic. Thoughts and prayers are with the family members and also the other students, the other staff that were traumatized in that. I think it kind of hits home too. It was a small Christian school. It's a suburb, I think, of Nashville, small town. Right, everybody probably pretty much knows everybody. So it's even more telling too. And I think you said it was a female shooter.
It was.
So that's kind of different too. Typically, it doesn't fit the MO of what a traditional active shooter is in a school system. But my thoughts and prayers are with them. I guess too, it just kind of brings back here in Stokes County, even though we're a rural community, thank goodness that, we do have at least school resource officers in all of our schools, public schools here in Stokes County. But I think that we always need to remember that we just can't take it for granted because we live in a rural community, that things like that can't happen here. We got to stay prepared, and we got to make sure that our public safety employees and officials are well trained and well equipped. That's all I got.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Chandler. Commissioner Wood.
Yes, I'd like to welcome everybody too. I'm glad for the ones that attended, the one that's tuning in. I do want to sing the praises of some of our county's events. The meal at North Stokes last Thursday was awesome. The attendance was great. Everybody involved, I want to thank them. And me and my wife attended a class at the Arts Place Saturday, and it was fantastic, sold out. And it's just good to see all the people getting out and acting normal again. That's all I got.
Thank you. Just a couple things. Thank everybody for being here today. I think we've got April Hicks here for recognition from the tax office for retirement. So glad to be doing that today. And just a comment about the advisory board that you spoke about. We have been in the process of trying to make sure all these boards and committees are appointed as they should be and looked at. We've been doing some other things with the health department board, with the substance abuse committee board and things. So in that vein, I do think that we probably would be looking at that board because it was not an operational board there for a while, and then it's supposed to have been brought back together since she's been the animal control director. But that being said, those appointments do need to be looked at and revised, I think, and brought up to date with everything. So that will be something I think we'll be trying to look at, and not just that, but all of them across the board there. And again, as Commissioner Mendenhall said, our thoughts and prayers are with the school in Tennessee, and that situation that we know can happen anywhere. And it just goes back, and I'll put this plug in every chance I get, for the mental health aspect of things, and the shortage of mental health professionals and mental health in the school system. And I think we're starting to see it. We're starting to see some money being spent at the state level for school systems, for mental health providers. And COVID just made it worse, just the isolation and everything. And we're still getting our feet back under us from that. So, that's something we've got to keep in mind, and really try to get these kids some help, and look for the warning signs, and look for things. So that's something we've all got to do a better job of, but that's all I've got.
Thank you very much. Amber, have you got any comments?
Yeah, welcome to everybody here and everybody who's watching online. I just wanted to say I'm looking forward to continuing to serve the county and the board in this interim role, so please let me know if you need anything or have any questions. And I did want to mention Mr. Glenn Knox. He's contracting with us for IT purposes, and I just wanted to remember his family and him. I know he had a medical emergency, for those that don't know, and he's going through a tough time, I'm sure, right now, trying to recover. So our thoughts are with him. I did just want to remind everybody that our county offices are closed April 7th in observance of Easter and Good Friday. I don't think we'll meet again before Easter takes place, so happy Easter to everybody there. And the last thing, I just wanted to go over the DSS event. We have the Ring Out Child Abuse event. That's on Tuesday, April 4th. They're ringing the bell on child abuse awareness and committing to their community's children. So that should be in front of the DSS building at 1 o'clock that day.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Amber. I'd like to welcome everybody to our meeting today as well. Prayers for the folks where the school shooting occurred. I hope at some point down the road we'll get to where we don't keep our kids in gun-free zones and make sitting ducks out of them like we do. So that plus the mental health aspects that were mentioned are also really need to be addressed. But I'm sure those folks are going through a very tough time. Next item on our agenda is conflicts of interest. I'll read the statement right quick. Before moving further, does any board member have a conflict of interest with any items on the agenda for today, or one that can be perceived as conflict of interest? Nope. Okay. Next item on our agenda is the consent agenda. Can I get a motion for approval of the consent agenda?
I had one correction on the minutes. I think the minutes say Anna Bowles family, and it was Van, V-A-N, Van Bowles family. Just the name, because I kept thinking, who is Ann Bowles? Then I remembered it was Van.
I do have one, if it's okay.
Yeah, go
Mr.
ahead.
And it's to Lisa on budget amendment number 65. Lisa, it says appropriate funds for additional costs associated with budget prep. And the fifth asset that can you give me some idea of what those additional funds are going to?
Budget preparation, where we're trying to put it on the gym system. We had to pay for that module to get training for that. And the debt book is where they're doing all the GASB 87, I think GASB 96, which has to be part of the audit. We outsourced that last year.
Thank you.
I did have a question on the budget amendment.
Okay.
Because it was quite a jump in the DSS attorney fees.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that accounts for, the increase?
I asked Kim Grabs is their attorney, and the reason behind it is their caseload and the number of hours that she's working. It's nothing to do with rate of pay, but the caseload.
And what about the money that was, I think it's not an additional amount, but they were talking about transferring funds to child welfare monitoring. Do you know what that is?
I think there's going to be, talking to DSS, there's going to be a state draft in either April or May. And it's because of a child welfare monitoring that was done in office. And I asked kind of for an example of what that meant. And she said there could be errors in cases when they monitored them. Like a child's funding status could change. And not updated, I guess, here. So they took it maybe out of, the funding was out of the wrong pot or something. But if you need more information, I can talk to Stacy.
Yeah, if you don't mind, you can
Okay.
email it to me.
Okay.
I'm just wondering. I don't know. I hadn't seen that before, so I wasn't sure
Okay.
what that was about. Thank you.
Any more questions on the consent agenda? Y'all asked all mine already. So, have a motion, could I get a motion?
Make a motion that we approve consent.
Second.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Okay, the next item is the information agenda, and the first item on that is tax office employee retirement. That'd be Miss April.
Good afternoon. It's my distinct honor and privilege to recognize Miss April Stevens Hicks this 27th day of March 2023 with this plaque of recognition for her 30 years of service to the great county of Stokes. April started her journey back in December of 1992. All 30 years of being in the tax office. And ironically, April and Cheryl Hill was hired on the same day. I don't really know. There was two positions open. I don't know how they decided which one got which. But Cheryl ended up in collections and April ended up in appraisal. And I think that was probably the best because they're both good at what they do. So it was a great choice there. But Friday, April's journey will end. And the way you look at it is sadly or gladly. For me, I'm split both ways. I'm glad that she's able to retire. She's reached this milestone and able to enjoy life on her terms at her pace. But sadly, I'm going to lose a coworker that I worked with for over 28 years. And after time, you become one of the coworkers. It becomes like family. April she's a lifelong resident of Stokes County. Lived here all her life. She's I'm not going to tell her age, but she graduated from North Stokes in the class of '89. So she's pretty all her life, and she has two children. She's married, Mr. Mickey Hicks. A lot of y'all probably know Mickey. He does great work here in the county, and they have two children, Austin and Hannah. April and Mickey's getting ready to become grandparents, having their first grandchild in about 5 weeks, 1st of May. And I think it was just the right time. The Lord has a way of working things out, and I think it's just the right time for her. April definitely played a vital role in the tax office, making it where it is today. April's a very delightful and caring person, and we all wish her the best, and she'll truly be missed. I'd also like to acknowledge the board for providing this beautiful plaque for April's service and for allowing us to do these recognitions, because it means a lot. Because when I told April that the board got this plaque, I could just tell it really meant a lot to her. She's been appreciated for what she's done. And I'd also like to invite everybody in here. We've sent out invitations, but I want to invite everybody on the board for on March 31st, Friday, from 3 to 5. We're having a retirement reception for April. And we've done it from 3 to 5. That way we make sure she's going to be here to 5.
I didn't even think about it until they said it. I was like, really?
She keeps us well.
that's
But April's got a few words to say, and when she gets through saying those, if you don't mind, I'd like for the board to come down, or she could come up, however you want to do it, and get a picture made with April.
I just
it's just quick and simple. I still get nervous when I get up here in front of y'all. I just always have. Done it for years, but I still do. But I just want to thank y'all for the opportunity. And Stokes County, the tax administrator, Richard Brim, he's been awesome. I've enjoyed working with him every minute. And I was looking at those pictures earlier, and I was like, wow. I remember all those, so it's kind of crazy, but anyway, and I've, it's been my pleasure to have served here and worked in the county for 30 years, the entire time. I couldn't have asked for anywhere better to work. Very fortunate to have met and made a lot of friends while I've been here, and I just wish everybody the best, and just grateful to have lived here, grown up here, and been able to work and retire from exactly where I'm from. So, I just really appreciate the opportunity, and thanks for the plaque and everything, and I hope, this continues for the future, but I really appreciate it, and thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Would board members like to make any comments before we do the picture?
I just want to know, are you joining the Dam River Retirement Club breakfast?
Maybe I will now, yeah.
Mickey's saying no.
Yeah, he probably don't want me to join in on that, but but I really appreciate it. I thank everybody over the years, and the possibility to be able to have done what I've done and worked here for the entire 30 years. I mean, I couldn't ask for anywhere better. And to retire from, that's one of the blessings is the retirement and the possibilities which y'all do give us to be able to do that. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you for everything, yes, and you're gonna love being a grandparent.
I hope so.
Yes,
I'm looking forward to it.
So,
Yeah, just that it's really nice to see you can tell that you were committed to the county and committed to the citizen, and I think that speaks volumes about the type of employees that we have working here in Stokes County.
And the tax office is a great place to work. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It is one of the better places to work for the
and typically
county.
that
You deal with.
I was going to say,
a lot of stuff.
sometimes you get a little bit adversarial, people coming in.
It can be a really rewarding job. It really can.
Yeah.
So.
Well, with people like you, Stokes County's in good shape.
Thank you.
Ronnie?
Thank you. I just want to say congratulations. Retirement is wonderful. As Sonia said, you get to go see your grandkids. In fact, I'm going in April to Wilmington to see two of mine. And, it just happens they live in Wilmington, 2 minutes from Wrightsville Beach. It has nothing to be going down there every once in a while. But to you,
But it is nice.
To you, I want to say this. I can see the family type atmosphere that the tax department has had. Every time I've come down there to Richard, you, both ladies in the back, I visit y'all sometimes, and y'all all seem to get along and work together, and that's what makes a great department. And I owe it to the people that work there and to the person that's over it. Congratulations to you, April, and to you, Richard. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, congratulations, April. I wish you the very best. If you're like me, you won't be able to find anything wrong with retirement.
I hope not.
I don't think you will. And I've worked with you off and on since 2004 and dealt with you directly, and you've always been the consummate professional. So congratulations, and hope you
I
get
told Richard that we pick at each other. I'm his work wife and he's my workman husband. So we're getting a divorce now. Because you spend together, you spend just about more time together than you do at home,
Exactly.
So it's been a pleasure.
Okay, so you want us to come down there and do a picture, or how you want to do it?
Yeah, whatever you want. Right here, this is 91 years. 30
Yeah,
of experience right there. It's a lot.
You better have a trainee program in full
Yeah, we're
steam.
working on it. I know April's following us.
Yeah. And I'm not following it.
just come back here.
Stick right here, April, and we'll get together behind you.
Here, I'll pull you this way. Pull me.
Won't put any horns on you.
Photo bomb.
Sorry, keep going. I had bronchitis like 3 weeks ago, and I'm still.
Got 'em? Okay, good. Thanks a lot.
Congratulations.
3 kids.
Back to work.
That's true. That's true.
Thank you.
Thanks, April.
All right, see you later, Ian.
Okay, next item on our information agenda is the hospital feasibility study update. Pam was going to be here today, as I mentioned earlier. Her brother passed away, and she's doing funeral arrangements for tomorrow, which are let me see, tomorrow visitation at the First Christian Church in King from 1:30 to 2:45. Then the funeral's at 3 o'clock for those who might be interested in attending that. We'll have a Board of Trustees meeting before the next commissioner meeting, and the first one of next month, and get a full update. There's a little bit of delay in getting some of the data to the company. The company's performing as we had hoped they would, and most of that's where Pam is the only person that has authority or having to get some permissions or permission type things from the state to get some of the data. So, and she's working on that and realizes the urgency. So I think she'll probably have a full update at our next meeting and maybe make some projections on when we can get finished with all this. Okay, the next item is discussion agenda, and Mr. Brim is back for that.
Good afternoon again. This will be short. I got a real short agenda today. But the first item is the monthly tax collection status report for school operated in the county. General county was collected a little over $25.2 million, or 97.36% of the budget that was budgeted for the fiscal year. And we're probably on pace to make budget this year because March is really a big month for us. We're sending out those second notices, so we'll probably have a good collections month this month. Next item is our real and personal releases less than 100. We have 10 accounts that total $543.59, and then we have real and personal refunds more than 100. That's 6 accounts that total $754.69. And then the last item that I have is pertaining to the 2% discount for early payment for annual bills. If the board wishes to leave the 2% in place, then no action has to be taken. But if the board chooses to amend the percentage, then a resolution must be completed and submitted to NCDR by May 1. So the board can just let me know on that, and if we need to adjust or something, I can get a resolution made up, and the board can get that approved before the May 1 deadline. And that's all I have. I'd like to move the real and personal refunds of more than 100 to the April 10th consent agenda. That's all I have.
All right. Any board members have any comments or questions?
I'm not for sure if you can, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
If you can answer it, or if our finance director can answer it. But in terms of, does it help? Does the county need the money for that 54% coming in and at the early times of, of paying early on the taxes? Do we need that money to I guess pay our bills?
That's what it's like.
It helps with cash flow, because if not, probably everyone would wait until December to pay their bills. I mean, I've never experienced that because we've always have had the 2% that I know of.
Alamance County, they reduced their to 1/2 of 1%, and their tax administrator told me directly they did that. They want to leave it in place to keep cash flow going because the escrow companies have to take advantage if you offer a discount. So they reduced theirs to 0.5%. So escrow companies paid, so they still got early payments that way. But I really don't know the percentage of how much is escrow and how much is folks just when they get a bill paying it, when
Richard, I just want to say on that, I think that is one of our best PR things we have in the county, is allowing people to pay early. It's amazing. I'm sure Sonia, Rick, everybody's been here. I get so many positive comments because I'll be honest, my mom's 90 years old. When that tax thing comes in and the first day she can pay it, she's got my other brother over here with her paying that money then. She doesn't put it off to November, December. She pays it right then. She gets a bill, she pays it. And I just don't, I personally, I'm just one member of the board, but I personally I'd like to leave it as it is. That's just me. I'm just one person.
But the county, you know, 38 out of 100 counties, we're 38, we're one of 38 to do it, so it says a lot for Stokes County that they're trying to help folks when they can.
Other comments on Richard's presentation?
Good presentation.
I would say on that, I mean, you can always look at what the percentage is, or whether you've got the right percentage, I guess, or not. But the problem is with the budget, it varies from year to year, and you could have good years and bad years, and where you don't need it sometimes, and the other year you might need it. So probably need to keep some incentive in place, I think, for the cash flow piece of it.
But don't we?
Certainly something we examine closer, though.
But I mean, don't we? I mean, we should always be ahead a year with money in the bank. I mean, surely we're not down to where we can't meet our monthly debt payments or our monthly payroll.
Well, we can look at it if you'd like, yeah.
Yeah, our fund balance percentage is based on keeping 3 months of operating expenses in the
Yes.
bank. But then you still have some wild years, and
I'm not trying to. I mean, I don't really have a strong opinion whether to do away, because I mean, normally, I pay early myself. I mean, last year I didn't, but most years I do. But I'm almost. I mean, can you figure out if we're giving this discount to, let's say, 54% of the people take advantage of it? I mean, what would that, to figure out all the property tax owners, how much of what part or how much percentage of a percent off the tax rate would that be if we just say, well, you know what, we're discounting the tax rate anyway. Why not give everybody a chance at it?
The 488,000 is 1 cent on the tax rate, I think, if my memory's right. And the 2%, if you add all the different districts, is about 397,000. So it's less than 1 cent of what the tax rate would be. But the reason I bring this up to the board is because this has to be done, by May 1. So I don't want for the board to come up and ask if they could do this, and then we'd be past the May 1 deadline. So that's why I'm doing it in March. But I don't know the escrow companies. I don't know what percent of this payment is exactly escrow companies. With the escrow companies, if we done away with it and altogether, they would pay probably that first week of January. They would pay that first week of January. They would hold that money. So
you should.
yeah, right. So that's why a lot of counties have chosen to go to a lesser amount and still keep a small percentage to capitalize on the escrow companies paying before September.
And if you look at the list of counties that you gave us, our surrounding counties, Surrey and Yadkin, they're both 2%, aren't they?
That is correct. Yes,
Just
sir.
they're just like us.
That is correct.
Yes, thank you.
We have an agenda item called budget guidance coming up today. If you want to give any further direction for the budget discussion process, that will, after you think about another
I think it's a
minute
can of
or
worms you don't want to
two of what you might want Richard to bring to you or whatever. So
Richard, good job.
Yep, excellent. Anything else? Okay, next item on the agenda is the Surrey County Housing Consortium appointment request. And Amber, you want to make any comments on that before we open the floor for nominations?
The only thing I can just, I guess, reiterate kind of what we talked about last time. It's been posted on the website since our last Board of Commissioners meeting, and Commissioner Chandler is the commissioner appointee on that. So right now, we're allowed to have 3, I guess, representative individuals represent Stokes County on that Surrey County Housing Consortium, and right now, Commissioner Chandler's the only one we have. So we'll just need to appoint 2 more.
Okay.
People, citizens or whoever y'all would like to have on
Do
there.
see, there is
We did get one.
We have an
one
applicant.
citizen.
Yes, yeah, we did get one applicant. That was Melissa Nance, and that's actually our plan director's wife. Our Eric Nance, he's our new plan director. That's his wife. She had a lot of interest in it, and that's kind of the work she's done is a lot of that type of housing work and public assistance work. So.
Okay, so I'll open the floor for nominations then to fill out these 2 positions.
I'll make a motion that we nominate, appoint Melissa Nance to the commission seat.
I'm sorry, but under Robert's rules, we got to close nominations and hold them at the next meeting if that's what we want to do.
Well, we gotta decide which 2 of these 3.
We
haven't decided which 2 yet, right?
We got 2.
Yeah, there's 2
Yeah,
big.
we got one.
Yeah, there's 2 big.
Yeah.
And we got
No,
Melissa.
no.
We need 2 more.
No, 2
Need
more.
2.
Yeah, we need 2 more. Yeah.
Total of 3.
We need, go ahead with your, go ahead,
Need to
Brad.
open
Let Brad
nominations
finish,
and nominate some people
and then close it.
and then close it.
But you don't have to have that many, because in 2016, I was on that committee.
Uh-huh.
And I was the only one of the 5 commissioners. That was when we had James, Ernest, Rhonda, and Jenny Walker, and myself. I was the one that got, I don't want to say put on that committee, but I was sort of the new man on the block.
We can have
I
up
don't
to
want
3.
to use the word stuck, but I got put on that committee, and I was the only one. And I was driving up, we were meeting in Boonville then, up near Elgin. And they did not make a requirement of 3 at the time, because I was the only one going.
Yeah, we can have up to 3.
So we want to open the floor for nominations for up to 3 if the board desires to do that. And we have one already on it. We have an applicant that would like to be on it.
Correct. Yeah.
And then the question is, do we want a 3rd person on it?
We don't have anybody interested
Well,
in
we
this time.
I think I saw where we could put either Amber or Keith Wood on there, so.
That was just an option if the board wanted to have the 3
If you want
on
to have
there.
the 3. And I don't know,
Do we want to have 3?
there's money involved right here that we need to be
There
paying
is
attention
money.
Yes,
to.
yeah.
Yes, money's involved in
The
this,
home
I can
funds,
assure you.
yeah, from HUD.
Because I
So
served,
the
I
more
served 2 years
representation,
on
the
it.
better, is that what
So
you're
does
saying?
anybody want to, do you want to
Nominate
a
us and
third
gives an
person?
extra vote.
Does the
Well,
board want to put a 3rd person or
Sure,
not?
I'll, if we're open for nominations, I'll keep Brad in as one. I'll nominate Melissa Nance, because I looked at
He
her
already did that.
resume.
He's already done that.
Got that, and I'll nominate Keith Wood as our 3rd one.
I nominate I move we close the nominations then.
Okay. We have a
If
motion.
you'll nominate that, I'll second.
Okay, that's a second. Okay, any further discussion,
Then we'll
Keith?
poll at the next one.
Can I say no?
Action next.
I'm good with it.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so nominations are closed. And we'll put it on action for next agenda.
Yeah,
That's
great.
right.
Yeah.
I have her plate full right now.
Okay,
Okay.
next item on our agenda is the quarter-cent sales tax discussion. And I think from where we left off last time, we were talking about putting a committee together. So does the board have further thoughts on how you want to proceed with that?
Well, I don't know if we want to advertise or just have people contact us. That I've had one person contact me that might be willing to serve on it, from the Pine Hall area. And I've also talked to Tori Mabe a little bit about maybe he could chair that, because he did a lot of research the last time.
Yeah, I got a text.
Yeah, I think Tori would be good to maybe head that up, that committee.
Okay.
And he's already done a lot of homework looking at brochures other counties did, and some other things that they did to pass it. So
Help get the information out there to
Yeah.
people so that,
yes, yeah, answer questions, and there'll have to be like some people going to some meetings and things and some of us can do that as well to help inform the public. But
And I think we need to work hard to get somebody from King and Won't Go on that.
yeah, definitely. I can ask around.
okay.
I was thinking maybe the guy that used to be on the King City Council that works for Edward Jones. He might be good.
Oh, yeah,
Ask
he would
him
be.
from King, because he knows the finance side of things really well. So
What's his name? I can't remember.
I'm
He
drawing.
runs the office right there.
Yeah, it'll come to me in a minute.
Tip of my tongue, yeah. Is the board like the idea of having Tori kind of take the lead on this then?
Yeah,
I think you need.
I think you do a good job.
I think Eddie would be fine with
If
that
he
as
could
well.
pull about 10 people from various it would take about 10 if you're going to try to get maybe somebody from Pinnacle that kind of knows people in Pinnacle, maybe a business owner,
Yeah.
and pull in, that would be the first step, I think, is getting this committee formed.
Okay. Yeah, so if we do that, do we need to advertise though for people that might want to apply or not? We usually do, I
I
think.
think we
Yeah,
need
to follow what we normally do probably
Put
wouldn't
on
hurt.
the website.
Yeah,
And
let's
then
let's do that
We
then.
can find some people and tell them they need to apply for
So there's the consensus of the board that maybe we look at Tori to head that committee and we advertise through our normal process and put that group together. All right, any other discussion on this topic?
No, as long as we got a consensus on that.
I think we
can
do,
go with it.
don't we? Okay. The next item is budget guidance. Do you have any further thoughts, Brad, about what you might want to see during our regular budget discussions on the?
Yeah, if you could just ask Richard, I'm just kind of curious, how much would that equal to if we would, so instead of doing if you just pay early of getting the discount, to see what that would take off if everybody would get a tax break, property tax owner, just see what that would be off the fund balance or off the tax rate.
And then I guess look at the escrow and see what it would be if it all came in January, what the impact would be. Anything else? Any under this topic? You guys have anything else on the budget guide?
This maybe.
No,
Okay.
Wesley Carter's his name.
Wesley Carter, that's right.
You're right. Yeah, I was sitting here like, knew it would come to me.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is it was the evaluation system. Are you gonna get with the county manager on your legal concerns, Commissioner?
Yeah, just
For the
different.
next meeting?
I can, and
Okay.
a lot of it's verbiage and different things, but make sure we're covered, but I'll be glad to.
Okay, that sounds good. And we'll have that on discussion agenda for the next
I'll give you a
meeting.
call when we get together.
May I make one request? If there is anything that needs to be discussed in the form of legal advice, if the board's agreeable, let's add a closed session item on that. Just want to make sure that if there's like a legal question or something like that that we need to answer in front of the entire board, that we do that in closed. Thank you.
All righty, the next item on our agenda is the Board of Health appointment request.
And I talked to Chad Jarvis today about that, and they're still waiting on some of the dentist and the veterinary, the engineer. He asked that if we could just do Ashley Osteen's today, or we could do Ashley and Delaney Santoro's, that, because we have all that information, and he's been sick, and he also had some dental things happen. He's had a lot of stuff in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
So
So we need to open the floor for nominations for those two then today.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, or poll on those two. We've already
Did
done
we,
that.
did we already nominate them? I can't
I
remember.
think so, because they're on action.
Yeah, we posted on the website too to advertise.
Okay, we didn't
those
have
four.
anybody, we don't have anybody else.
No,
either.
nobody else applied.
But that still leaves Keith and Kim's and the dentist. There's still some other positions he's getting together, but
Okay,
but those two, we do have the resumes. The only thing last time the holdup was we didn't have the resumes and didn't have all that information I asked for. That was the holdup, but we had them. So those two we could go ahead.
okay, that sounds good.
So I'll make a motion that we approve the appointments of Ashley Osteen and Delaney Santoro to the Health Board.
Second.
Second that motion.
Okay, then we got a poll.
We'll have to poll
Okay, start down with Commissioner Mendenhall.
Santoro and Osteen.
Sansoro and Olstein.
Santoro.
Santoro Osteen.
Santoro Osteen.
Santoro Osteen.
Okay. So that concludes all the action we need to take on that
And then
today.
did he want the other two back on discussion
Yeah.
for next time, or
Yeah.
just to a later date?
I
Or
think we'll have to, all the nominations that come in will be on next time on discussion.
next time? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll get him a whole board eventually, and hopefully it'll be the people that fit the descriptions of the things that he needs.
Okay, the next item is the Substance Abuse Committee. I guess we need to open the floor for further nominations since we advertised this. We nominated this group last time, I think, didn't we? The
Yes.
group at the top there.
There's been a couple more,
So open the floor for additional nominations.
And I will note, I didn't put it in there, but I told Laura Jones I would note that Nora Gann, she actually works for DRC. She's the new employee that took Laura Jones's previous position. So she's a county employee.
Oh,
The
okay.
Nora Gann.
she works for what?
DRC, the Day
Okay.
Reporting Center with Laura Jones. So they deal
Well-
with that type of stuff. I don't know.
And also, the people who sent in those applications can be added as subcommittee members as well. That's what there's been so many people attending the meeting that they were just trying to pare it down to hitting each area with a person like probation and the school system and DSS and health department. So these are a good representation of all of that. And then the way they wanted to work it out was to put some subcommittees in that target the different areas, like the faith-based and different areas. So, and I think both of these other applicants could definitely be on a subcommittee, and just need to come to the next meeting and we'll get them hooked up. I don't know.
Okay, so we need to open the floor for further nominations then.
Well,
For what? I mean, for what?
If we're gonna add the other two people for subcommittees. I don't think this,
We do, I mean, we do subcommittees?
No, they're not
that's
appointed.
up to them, yeah.
I guess that just opening the floor for those nominations, if you wanted to nominate those individuals to the committee now. Since
Yeah.
there was since it,
Want to poll us, I would say,
Nora Gann and Marcia Marshall were the two new ones. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
because
11.
Those
of-
were the two new
this
applicants.
other group fills out the current committee, right? The
Yeah.
top, the group that we've already nominated.
yeah, so I don't have any other nominations. I'm fine with the slate that's on here and fill out let these other two come in on a subcommittee is what I'm saying, so.
Oh, okay.
So,
So we just deal with the top group today.
yeah, yeah. That's the only
Okay.
way to do
Okay,
it.
so I guess we need to close nominations then. Motion to close nominations.
Make a motion, we close nomination.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And we need to poll for this
Do
group,
you want us to
right?
say all 11
Just
names,
say-
or just say as
List is presented.
As
As
listed.
presented? Okay, list as presented.
Just as presented.
List as presented.
List as presented.
List as presented.
Okay, well, that takes care of that agenda item. Got the next thing is a resolution authorizing execution of the opioid settlement. Amber, are you or the attorney going to talk
Jennifer might
about
speak
that?
more to that because that was Ty that had asked for me to put that on there, and that's just to combine the two opioid settlements that we've talked about. One that we're receiving funding for, and there's a new one that's just came about, and so we need to combine those two. Is my understanding.
That's correct.
Okay.
I was reading through this as well, so I think that towards the very bottom, that second whereas prior to the second from the bottom whereas, it's the intention of it to maximize the share of the opioid settlement funds and to make sure that we get as much money from those as we can. So I think Mr. Browder's worded this the best way that he can to do that. And he was just asking that this be approved today.
Okay. All right, getting a motion to approve the
Motion, I'll make a motion,
resolution.
Mr. Chairman, to approve the resolution presented by our county
I'll
attorney.
second that motion.
Okay, any further discussion on it? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it passes unanimously. Then the last thing in open session we have today is a Child Abuse Prevention Month proclamation and Ring Out Child Abuse Event flyer. I'll get a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
That's it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No. All passes. You want to comment?
Nope, I'm good.
Passes unanimously. Okay, our next,
Is that it?
that's it,
Motion to
except
go
we,
into closed.
except we need a motion to go into closed session, and Amber will give the rationale.
To consider the initial employment or appointment of an individual to any office or position other than a vacancy in the Board of County Commissioners or any other public body, or to consider the qualifications, competence, performance, character, and fitness of any public officer or employee other than a member of the Board of Commissioners or of some other public body pursuant to General Statute 143-318.11A6.
Motion to go into closed.
Motion.
Moved.
Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, we're going to closed session. we have anything left other than to adjourn?
Okay, we're back on. I don't believe so.
Okay, could we get a motion to adjourn then?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, we're adjourned. All right.